Both Khabib and a lot of people are touting you as the next Khabib, the one to dominate the lightweight division. How do you feel about being put in that position?
I know. First, who believed me, this is my coach. I lost him, but he always told me, hey, one day you're gonna be champion.
People pour themselves into this shit, and where the outcome of an athletic event where one man fights against another man, fights against him, they get into an octagon, they fight, okay, and the outcome of that is going to be the validation of a man's entire life, their whole life, every single moment that they've spent working towards a goal, and the outcome of this thing that's going to be 25 minutes, the amount of time it takes to watch an episode of fucking Sex in the City, okay? Like, that amount of time is going to define your fucking life, or define the life of your coach and mentor, or your father who just died, okay? You can't find any sport that has meaning like that, I can't. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So let's talk about Islam Makhachev, because I have a new lease on his career, a new opinion of his future, which is drastically improved versus the last time I talked about him. Okay, so here's the deal. I have made pretty clear that I didn't think that he was going to end up in the category of Khabib, right? I mean, obviously, these are huge shoes to fill, okay? Now, actually, before I get into this, if you like the content, subscribe and ring the bell and tell your friends, okay? Do it. If you watch my videos and you aren't subscribed, just subscribe, okay? Like, you're not going to find a more entertaining guy on the mic. Like, most people are saying the same stuff, you know? It's just about, like, well, how watchable is this guy? Throw me up against anybody. I want to see it. Pepsi challenge. Anyway, I'm going to say some other things anyways, though. So, actually, I don't say the same things as other people. I take back what I said. Anyway, so what I had said previously was that I hadn't seen anything from Islam Makhachev that gave me confidence that he's going to end up in the realm of where Khabib is, right? And I'm not saying he's going to be Khabib level, right? But you think about Khabib's early fights and versus some of Islam's early fights, and it was like Khabib is like battering guys. Like, the reason why I kind of saw him differently than Khabib is because, like, Khabib was really hurting guys. Like, he was just hurting them throughout the entire fight. He looked like it's just kind of like where the only place that you could think, like, where is this guy going to be vulnerable? It's like if someone can catch him on the feet, because he's so wild when he comes in. He has proven in his career that it's very unlikely for that to ever happen if he comes back and fights at all, but it never happened in his career. But Islam Makhachev, I just didn't see the same level of danger from him. Last night, okay, on the ground, that was next level groundwork, okay? Like, that was Khabib level groundwork, okay? Like, seriously, if you watch the transitions, the armbar transition, dude, and then God, what's the name of the choke that he put on? I can't remember anything today. This is infuriating. If you watch my other video, I literally forgot Jessica Andrade's name. I forgot Glover Teixeira's name. I can't remember anyone's name. Or whatever. Okay, but the choke that he put on him, I can't remember the name of it. Shoulder into, it was like a hybrid too, but he put shoulder to jugular and just crushed him, dude. And I mean, listen, man, I know this is going to be a common theme across lots of channels and lots of commentary, whatever. I actually wanted to make a separate video about it to say emphatically, we have to see him against a top contender, okay? We have to see him again. And here's the other thing. This is, and again, like the thing that I do a little bit different than other people, I am trying to think about the business and think about how this plays out as a promoter. Like, as a promoter, who you put Islam Makhachev against is critical, man. Like, that guy is... There's Hamzat Chimaev and there's Islam Makhachev. Those are your two guys that are in position to replace Khabib for that same fan base, okay? Like, he is an asset that is very important to protect, okay? Like, you do not give him a fight that you think he's going to lose, right? Especially when he's 29 years old and he's still developing, which sounds crazy at this point. Like, 29 used to be, like a seasoned veteran, but people are coming into their own in their early to mid 30s now, but neither here nor there. So I'm thinking about who you put him up against, and you got to give him someone that's top 8 at least, right? I mean, dude, that was a ridiculous performance. I mean, like, that was flawless victory. He never was in trouble. he literally looked like he was in, I mean, that's what it would have looked like if like Khabib fought Dobson, you know, or if one of these top 4 guys fought Dobson, that's what it would look like. Just utter dominance, like no chance, never in danger, just a superior athlete, a superior fighter fighting someone who's unranked. That's what it would look like, right? That is what it looks like. You know, that's why Khamzat Chimaev, that's why people are so excited about him. It's like, yeah, okay, he's only, you know, won a few fights and they're all unranked. But it's not just that he won. It's like, oh, who's he fought? Okay, well, yeah, obviously it's not just that he beat unranked fighters. It's how he beat them. He beat them in a way where it's like they don't even belong in the same like stadium as him, much less the same octagon fighting against him. A completely different level. And that was what Islam Makhachev looked like last night. So I am going to adjust my prognosis for Islam Makhachev. I am very bullish on him now. Very bullish on him now. Now, obviously, I'm not going to, you know, just throw like, oh, he's going to be the next Khabib. One thing I do want to say about Khabib, though, did you see how excited he was? Did you guys see the cam on the ringside where when Dobson tapped? You know, Khabib like tries to play it real stoic. What have I always said about his personality? It's like he's ice, but he's got an ocean of passion underneath, right? Like he's Eastern European. He's from a war-torn area of Eastern Europe. Okay, those guys are all, you know, so it doesn't matter what they're really built out of culturally. You know, they all play it like that. With Khabib, I always, well, at least at a certain point when I really started paying attention, I could see, I was like, oh, there's an ocean of emotion under there for that guy. And that's why I like him so much. And when, you know, I'll give you an example of another moment in my kind of sports fandom that compared to that. Because I loved that, okay? Like, when I saw him, he slammed the table and he jumped up. He was like, you know, he was not aware of anything else, nothing, except that Islam just won, and he won decisively. Like, and this now Islam Makhachev is at a place where he needs to win. He needs to finish guys, right? Like, he needs to finish them. That's why that was so important that he won that way, not by decision. Even if he ground him out, dominant, won by decision, not the same. He needed to finish him, and he did. You know, and you know, and Khabib slammed the table and jumped up like he was so excited. That's just like pure passion, love for his teammate, his brother, basically. And, you know, I mean, there's a lot riding on this guy. I mean, you got to understand, Islam Makhachev basically has been training with Khabib under Khabib's dad since he's a child. Like, he is literally Khabib's brother. And all of Abdulmanap's hopes post Khabib lived inside Islam Makhachev. So think about how important that is to Khabib, man. Like, honestly, I would imagine, as a matter of fact, I don't even need to imagine. I could actually decisively tell you, if I could put myself in his position, which I'm very good at, Islam Makhachev's career is more important to Khabib now than Khabib's own career. I would bet you that's why he's retiring. He's like, okay, yeah, so I go 30-0. I don't see any challengers out there that are important to me, and I've got myself wrapped up in this guy now. You know, honestly, that's what I saw. When I saw Khabib slam the table and jump up and go celebrate with Islam Makhachev, that kind of flipped a switch for me. I'm like, okay, now I can understand. Like, now I actually can see the world through Khabib's eyes now in terms of why he feels comfortable hanging it up. And I can tell you almost certainly that a lot of that has to do with, if Islam Makhachev wins the title at 155, that is the ultimate validation of Abdulmanap's coaching, which is directly out of Abdulmanap's mouth in multiple interviews. I've seen it myself. He said he wants Khabib to retire as a champion and then Islam Makhachev to win it after him, and that will be the ultimate validation of his coaching. The ultimate validation of his life. His entire life was dedicated to combat sports, and not only as an athlete, but then as coaching new athletes. And so, if Islam Makhachev can win the title, ultimate validation of Abdulmanap. And imagine what that means to Khabib. Imagine what that means to him, right? And so, why would be going 30-0? I mean, think about how little that would matter if the ultimate validation of his dad's entire life is tied up in this athlete that you train with and work with every single day. So, yeah. So, shed a lot of light on Khabib. You know, let me actually go back to the metaphor I was going to say. So, not the metaphor, but another example of like a moment like that when I was a fan. So, when Eli Manning was in the Super Bowl, right, and they were playing the Patriots the year the Patriots were undefeated going into the Super Bowl. The Giants were huge underdogs, right? And you guys, I don't need to replay the whole thing, but it was the end of the game. They're coming from behind, and Eli Manning threw this bomb, Hail Mary touchdown, or Plaxico Burst. I can't remember if they caught, whatever. But they win the game. They score, right? They score, and they go up, and they showed oh man, it's hard to even talk about. It's like the best shit ever. If you guys have a brother, like if you have like a brother, so I have a younger brother who was a professional athlete. Okay, so like I can't explain to you how much I relate to this moment. So they showed Peyton Manning like in like an owner's box or whatever, and he's in a suit, whatever. When they scored, he lost his shit completely, like as if he was literally on the field. He was like, "Fuck yeah!" I mean, from that moment on, I was like, dude, you're never going to hear anything except, like, Peyton Manning is such a savage. Like, that's the moment where I was like, oh my God, I fucking love this guy. You know, like, he's just like his little brother, dude. And like, he was so fired up, man. Like, there's no competition between them at all. Like, just pure and total passion and love for his brother. That was what I saw from Khabib last night. If you watch him, the second that Dobson tapped out, smashed the table and just jumped up, I was like, fucking. So here's the deal. I'm rooting for Islam Makhachev now, big time. Like I can't think of a fight that I would be rooting against him in now, actually, because of that. Because I know how much it would mean to him. Like, that's the whole thing. That's why I love the sport so much. Is like, there's so much riding on the line every single fight, man. It's like there's no other sport where the stakes are this high, you know. And you think about like where people pour themselves into this shit, and where the outcome of an athletic event where one man fights against another man, fights against him, fucking fights against him. They get into an octagon, they fight, okay, and the outcome of that is going to be the validation of a fucking man's entire life, their whole life, every single moment that they've spent working towards a goal, and the outcome of this thing that's going to be 25 fucking minutes, the amount of time it takes to watch an episode of fucking Sex and the City, okay? Like, that amount of time is going to define your fucking life, or define the life of your coach and mentor, or your father who just died. Okay, you can't find any sport that has meaning like that. I can't. Okay, I would love for anyone to show me an example of that. Okay, where a 25-minute period is going to validate a person's entire life. And the 25 minutes is involved is you locked in a fucking cage with another man, and you're gonna fight him until one of you guys is unconscious or says, I can't take it anymore. This guy is beaten. He's beaten it out of me. It's the best sport ever. It is the fucking best sport ever. Ever. Someone who thinks tennis is the best sport ever, I want to see it. Pitch me how tennis is better than fucking MMA. Give it to me. Anyway, that is what I've got. So subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and tell your motherfucking friends. Peace.